Good evening and welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today we have a special guest. Ralph is a singer for uh, Primal, but I came across and fell in love with your voice, like most people.
Yeah, about all my history. Yeah, it's been said so much, and I
Yeah,
mean,
I didn't want to.
this is 30 years ago with Priest, and we're all past it, and
Yeah,
everybody's happy with that Rob's back, so it's all fine. Tim Ripperones is a great vocalist and
yep,
an amazing singer. He did a great job. He's moving on. He's doing great stuff. So we're all happy, aren't we?
we are, and that's why I wanted to say that because to me, being a fan, I'm like, you know what? If that's a people reference, that's it. It's out of the way. I wanted to get it off the top because I'm glad you didn't do it because
Yeah.
I don't think the band would have been where you are. You wouldn't have had this great band that to this day I love. You know,
Yeah, cool. So it was a great start
perfect.
in the 90s
Yeah.
for Primal Fear.
But what's really crazy is, and I love the fact with the band is you guys started really when kind of the world was going crazy with grunge and everything, and you guys like there weren't a lot of metal bands. You grew during grunge, whereas a lot of bands were just falling apart.
Sean, we never cared. I mean, if you're doing this, you're
It's not
just
about
doing.
caring; it's just about how
It's
awesome it is.
yeah, I know what you mean, but we always, if you are a creative musician and if you want to do music, you just do what you do, no matter if it's popular at the moment or not. If you like what you do, because basically we like heavy metal, we are
Mhm.
getting goosebumps whenever we play and hear it. So it never really affected us what's popular at the moment or not. We just keep doing it,
Well, it's fantastic. You had the success so commercially. A lot of bands were still there are a lot of bands that made it, pushed through, but you guys
Gotcha.
actually, as a professional commercial level, you guys kept actually growing with commercial success also, not just as pushing through. Because there's a lot of bands over here in the U.S. that push through that are still around, and I give them, thumbs
But
up.
you're right. It was a difficult time for if you want to be successful somehow. But we just teamed up after all. What happened to us? What happened to me with the priest
Yeah,
not being a priest and not being in Gamma Ray anymore? So we just teamed up, five guys, three guys actually at the time from the hometown Esslingen, and we just sat together and wrote a demo, sent it to Japan because they were waiting for me anyway to receive some music from me. Got a contract right away, and then it was a great start because then also the European companies were really interested to sign us. So we were in a good position back in the days.
yeah, pretty amazing how quickly everything happened for you, and it's great. And it's great you guys to stay together. There's not like a lot of controversy. Just a band, just puts
Mhm.
out albums and tours, which is really great. And the albums continue to get stronger. Your last full length was Metal Commando 2020, and you just have an EP out, but then you also have a re-release of the first
Uh,
one, right?
Yes, exactly. That was actually the re-releasing is from Atomic Fire right now.
Right.
We're signed to Atomic Fire now, and they do those re-releases. That might be also the reason why you couldn't find it on Spotify anymore, which
Yeah.
I'm not so keen about anyway, because Spotify, but you have to go with the time. And
Yeah.
anyway, they re-released it, and yes, we are working on new material right now, Sean.
That's
I
what I
mean,
want to talk about. But I was
I
happy to see
just
that pop
I
up.
was just closing my door before this interview because I'm collecting like crazy these days.
How's that working out now? Because so, like I said, if people don't know, there's a anniversary issue of the first fantastic album that started all this magic. And if you haven't caught during COVID, around the COVID
Yeah.
time, you have Metal Commando, which is fantastic and has gotten a lot of accolades. It's just as strong as the first one. Check that out. But during this whole COVID change, like how did it affect you doing Metal Commando, like the touring and stuff? I mean, how did that happen? Because it was a good album, and then all of a sudden the
Thank
world
you.
kind of
Yes,
fell
and
apart.
it was a bummer for everybody of us. I mean, everybody in the genre suffered a lot, and we just booked an American tour back in the days, and it got canceled because of we all know why.
Yeah.
Um, Same reason for other bands, and it was a big bummer. So we never played the album live. We did the Metal Hammer Paradise Festival here in northern Germany last weekend, and we played the first song of that album live, which is called "Hear Me Calling." It
Yeah.
was the first time we played that song, and so it's
How
about
awesome was
time.
that, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, for us, I mean, it's even older for us than for the fans because we released it for us. Those were old songs already.
Yeah.
I mean, songs never get old, but you know what I mean. So it was really was interesting have somehow to play a song live.
That is a new, actually, you bring up a very good point, Ralph, because a lot of artists that had albums similar to yours out in that time and they didn't get to
Yeah.
tour on it.
Mm.
The music as an artist, you're always growing, and so this is all you're already on to the next piece of music. Of course, you're gonna play your other music because they're like kids or whatever you want to call them, and
Yeah.
you gather them. But your mind as an artist is you're thinking about making your next piece of music. You're ahead
Yes.
of the head. But people that haven't experienced it, it's almost like they're hearing it older already. So you're already like it's like you missed a weird time spot to playing it. You know what I mean? So it's a
Exactly.
weird thing for a lot of fans and for
Yeah.
you for bands as an artist with that new albums.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So
And it was a good album. So to not get
yes, thank you.
legs on it too.
We're really happy. So it's always some for us the effort and also the goal is of course to top the last one without somehow being too much under pressure because what I said before, if you somehow concentrate or focus too much what's going on or what your last effort, how successful that was, you might be in a certain pressure. You can't somehow relax to write music anymore. So you just write so much stuff, so many things, and if it's released or not, it's just really coming free out of your whatever it comes from soul, musical soul. You just record, and sometimes I wish I had just an interface right here on my brain to connect to my DAW and record everything which is going on in my brain, but that's not happening. Anyway, yes, but hey, we're really, like I said, we're collecting a lot, and we're really happy with setting everything together, and everything is set to record in January, February, ending and the end of March. It's going to be mixed, and it's going to be released about August, September next year. So we're really looking forward.
Awesome. In between that, are you going to do any dates? Maybe like play out a little bit between the recording of that album and maybe promote this last album live a little bit.
Yes, we committed to some festivals, like I said, but the tour is going to happen afterwards when we
Right.
release the album, and maybe once here and there we're going to play a festival or a gig here and there. It also depends on how the market will develop, which
Right.
is still another maybe
Yeah.
not a good thing what's going on because everybody's holding back money now right now, and everybody understands why.
Yeah.
But we will see. Let's stay positive.
Right. Well, one of the things more like, if possible, because, when you're in the studio for X amount of period of time and you haven't been playing out a lot of artists just want to go out and play. They're like, yeah, we'll take a break from the studio,
Yeah.
play, get some energy, come back in and go back in the studio.
Yeah, it's
That's what I
always
mean, just to kind of have some
yeah.
fun.
That's the healthy circle. If you're on the road, oh, I want to go back to studio record. If you're recording, I want to go back live. So that's a good thing, which keeps us going somehow.
You do vocal lessons, you do production, you do a lot of voice stuff. And
Yes.
and that's one of the things with the show I wanted to push everybody else. I'll have the link to the band website, and we're excited about the new album, but I also want people to go to the link for your website and your
Mm-hmm.
vocal stuff, which is one of the things I want to talk to in this little short interview today. Like what people can get from you, like what you're offering now in services. If you could talk about some of that stuff, I think it's fantastic to have a high level vocalist available
Yes,
nowadays.
thank you. Um, I have quite an experience right now teaching more longer than 10 years because you get feedbacks and you get your lessons learned from students and from customers. And the good thing is I can somehow deliver my experience and they understand. It's not only about the exercises we do, which we are doing. I mean, first of all, if you don't have intonation, if you can't sing, if you can't repeat a melody, you should do something else, But and but anyway, I'm doing breath techniques. I'm doing scales.
Mm-hmm.
But then of course I answer many questions people have, and it's given them a lot already to answer questions and to understand what I'm doing, and you can't just copy paste that into another person because everybody's unique, So what I'm trying to do is deliver my sensation in the throat and my feelings, what I have from the support system, and so forth, and all my experience all over the years from touring and from singing in the studio, which is sometimes two total different things because in the studio really going for somehow more aggressive and more supported kind of singing. In live you're trying to stay as relaxed as you can to somehow go for 3 months, but that's a different technique which is still sounding great, and that's what I'm trying to deliver to vocalists, to somehow play around a little bit with registers and with energy.
How are you doing it yourself? keeping it up? I mean, because your voice is not getting weaker at all. I mean, it's getting stronger. It's like there's only a
Yeah,
handful of people, and I hate to say Rob Halford is one of them, but there's only a handful of singers that you can go off the top of your head and be like, oh, their voice is not wavering at all as they get older, and that's such a great thing.
yes, I mean it changes for me. I totally hear and feel the changes, but people don't, and
Right.
I'm happy. I'm still happy. I'm really glad that I'm still lasting, and that's why I'm also doing my exercises on my own. So I do my maintenance things, which is very good. For instance, not harumph like right now, but sometimes it happens. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to stay in shape, not only with the body, also with the vocals, because vocal cords are muscles as well, and you got to train them once in a while. So of course, if it's too much when you're touring, you got to also relax them, and to find a counter exercise, because when you're pushing and pressing, it's a total different thing than the relaxing work, and that's a balance of things, and I'm really happy that I still can do it that way.
Well, I think people don't think about that. I think it's important if people are singers, they want to be doing it. Like how often you practice every day. I know some singers go off, they don't sing at all until the night before. Then they're like, I got with a vocal coach. I'm talking about professional singers. It's not a good or
Yeah.
bad thing. It's just different. But
Yes, it's
for
different.
your level, it's
Absolutely.
high. Your vocals are different
I
than
should,
most.
I actually, I should do more, but the good thing is, while I'm teaching, I'm also doing these exercises here and there.
Mhm.
I'm listening to my students, of course, as well, but I'm also doing the exercises parallel. So this is also helping me a lot during the week. So if you don't do the exercises and do somehow this stranging, and you gotta work with the voice. It's a muscle, it's a tissue, and if you don't use it, it's somehow wearing out. It's getting somehow crispy, and it's somehow not really like an old rubber band. It might snap, but you got to keep doing, keep it somehow smooth, and that's only happening while you're doing good exercise work, vocal work, with the tools I have as well, with bubble bottles and everything.
You and with that, I was looking at the website. I'm not sure if you do all this. So you also you'll sing on people's music if you find it's right for you. Maybe it's not might not be the right song or
Sorry.
whatever. People can send you their songs or inquire about you singing and guesting on some of their music.
Oh yes.
What is the process of that for you? Is it something you're like, well, is it a certain musical standard, or is there just something you have to just something you like? You know what I mean? Or do you have like,
Yes.
no, it needs to be this level on top of liking it?
Yes, somehow yes, but I'm also happy to help people, even if it's sometimes not maybe the standard what I think it should be with Primal Fear, but then of course it's hard to start somewhere. But of course I have to like the music, I have to like the song, the melody behind it, and yes, so and I help people with my voice, and maybe
Right.
also with my name, because everything else is also
Totally.
name dropping, you know.
Well, I think it's interesting because it puts you in a spot as an artist. Because if you just want to be an artist and you're like, yeah, I like the music, and I know my voice and my talents are in a different spot, and I can help them, and I want to do it, and you do it, but it's not the same level. But you're not trying to compete that. You're just trying to put your hand in to work with another artist. And people in the outside it's like, oh, he's just working for a hire. He's just like, like, no, it's just I'm a musician, and I'm trying to work with other musicians. You know what I'm saying? Like it can be a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation. Like if you want, you know what I mean? Unless you're
Yeah,
performing
it's
at some
true.
certain level and you can't, but then you're like, I don't have to be with this level of musicians if I just want to help somebody else do a song that I like.
Yes. Yes, true. And once again, if the melody is great, if the song is great, why not doing it, and why not helping them? And if they are happy with it, so I'm happy too.
I think it's great. I think, and I've seen it with other artists too, because I'm like, if an artist likes your music enough, they want to perform on it. And
Mhm.
all artists get paid. Session music, session people get paid. People who work in the studio, everyone has to get paid for their work. There's nothing wrong with that. We go to work every day and I get paid. So it's
Exactly,
so there's nothing
exactly.
wrong with that. And it's not that you need the money, but if I see doing the work, to that point, if you're an artist and you want to do it with somebody else for fun, how awesome is that? I mean, I would have loved that in when you're growing. Would you imagine growing up like in your 80s, all of a sudden you're like, so and so's gonna play with me if they like my music? Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
It's
kind of
got
cool.
it's gotten a little, yeah, it's gotten a little weird though. I saw on your website, I don't know if you still do this now. You have a microphone company you're involved with.
Yes, but that's a long time ago. I still have the microphone back the curtain here. And I'm the guy who developed this mic, who built the microphone. He's distributing them all around the globe, and also some of my students bought the microphone and are really really happy with it. So it's a high standard microphone from Hoy.
Mhm.
Sorry for the plug right now, but
No, no,
anyway,
I have an analog. I have a studio background earlier in my
yeah,
life,
and
so
it's
I
a
saw
great
that as a
microphone,
geek. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
and it takes really loud voices. My voice is very loud. I destroyed one of those Neumann UA47 or 87 microphones once back in the gamma ray days because of
Wow,
the high power of voice, of the level of the loudness of my voice somehow. And this Hork microphone really takes a lot of volume, and it's
mhm.
also transporting all the frequencies I need.
That's awesome. And you'll also record people, right? And do the
Yes.
recording with them too.
I also started mixing now. I really invested a lot in my studio gear, and I started to mix as well because I can consider myself having good ears. So yeah, I'm also
You offer the
I
full package.
started.
How did that happen? Like, also you started doing obviously being a singer and stuff. I noticed a lot of musicians, and it feels like it's natural as you years of being
Yeah,
in a studio, you learn it. But
yeah, because I'm just interested, and it's great to somehow achieve the level of high good productions. I mean, you cannot compare my system here with all those $1 million consoles in those big studios. But in the end, if the quality of the signal you're recording is good, there's quite some good stuff you can achieve with mixing and mastering here. I started to do stem mixing, of course, because I never somehow record a drum here in my small, tiny room here. But everything else I can also record here. And if people send me their stuff, I can
mhm.
I mix stems as well. And so the first customer is already really happy. It's going to be released soon from the guy from Canada, Dave, from Immortalize. So he will release his stuff soon. And
That's
so
awesome. I'll have to
I'm
check it
also
out.
happy to help
It's
to
awesome.
help people with that as well.
And that's something you also offer on your website if people reach out to you for that.
Yeah,
It's something if you have time or it's the right project, right? It's yeah, the only thing I agree with you, I think the only thing that you can't do at your home studio for people for everybody is drums. Drums
exactly.
need to be in a drum room.
Yeah, but
It could
anyway,
be your
if,
house.
if if I get the files, I also
Well,
mix the files as well. But yeah, you
right.
can't record the drums here. But there's so many good plugins nowadays as well. I mean, this
I know.
right now, Black Friday, they just kill you with all those advertising. So buy this drum, buy this library, and somehow you spend a lot of money, but in the end, for some things it's worth it. For some, it's just wasted money because you never use some stuff. But there's good stuff right now, also with the drum libraries which are being released, and also with the samples being sold. Top producers sell their signals and their files and samples, drum samples, for instance. And only to mention our guy Jacob Hansen from Denmark, he released the drum files, and they're sounding amazing, and we're always there recording our drums as well. So, all those things nowadays you can do, but still you have to have some skill. It's not just pushing a knob and then you have a good production.
But yeah, it's a good ear to begin with. That most people
Yeah.
just don't. Um, and the thing with recording, and then now the thing with stems and all the plugins is everyone else has joined the world of guitar players chasing tone. Now everybody can go down the rabbit hole for 30 hours trying to find that right sound on their computer. It's not
Oh
just
my
a
God, yes.
guitarist with this little,
Yeah.
amp,
It's
you know.
yeah, true.
I think that's the biggest danger of getting too lost into all the sounds that you can do nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. I got lost today, well, like 5 hours, 6 hours again, but the result is great.
Are you still planning on finding different things like vocally, like whether it be plugins or effects that you still find like new and
Well,
interesting?
I have my chain which works for me, but it's there's never a perfect chain because people are now, oh, you buy my chain, you're gonna sound like this. It's bullshit because
Right.
every vocalist sounds different, every signal hardware signal chain is different. So you never can somehow, well, if you buy my software chain, you're gonna sound like this and that. For me, that's bullshit. I mean, it might work for some people, but I found on my own chain, and I really tweaked around like
Mhm.
crazy, which is in the end, the result is that the flat signal is the best. So yeah, fine. But anyway, I got my chain and it works.
Good. Well, I agree with you. I think, and it's even harder with vocalists and human voices to replicate than like, I mean, easiest example that you can copy a guitar sound, right? But how many people have you read that have said, I got to finally, like world famous guitar players, I got to play guitar on Eddie Van Halen's rig and I played it and it sounded nothing like Eddie Van Halen
Because
because you
it
got the
starts with
thing,
playing. The sound starts with the grip around the strings around the neck. That's what I
right?
always. If you have fingers like me, you can produce quite a good sound, but it's never going to sound like Eddie Van Halen or Tom
Right.
Naumann. So
That's
because
what my
this,
point is.
yeah,
Yeah, you
because
can't replicate anybody, you know,
yeah,
you just can't. And the
yeah,
voice is even harder as a
it's
singer, you
true.
know.
Yes, that's true.
It are you I mean, you're doing a lot of different stuff. Any chance of you doing a solo album again? Do you like put songs aside, like just
Actually,
because you're a writer?
I'm collecting so much stuff, which sometimes maybe here and there would not fit to Primal Fear. So of course, I got stuff, and I'm gonna see what's left over when I'm finished with producing and collecting or collecting my ideas for the new Primal Fear album. And I totally understand if it's not fitting into the red line of an album, then it might be left over, which is still a good song then,
Yeah.
and we'll see what's happening with that. So, but there's no talks about it at the moment. No really actual thoughts behind to release a new
Right.
album.
But if you happen to have a big pile of great songs that you just didn't have a home for, it wouldn't be a bad idea, right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Cool. So I guess one of the last questions I ask you, so is songwriting as a band, has it changed? And like, how are you doing it now with COVID? Are you guys able to, you guys like doing files to each other before and then
Mhm.
a recording, writing process? Or was it just all organic in the studio and then you kind of went home with tapes?
It totally changed already before COVID. Everybody, like I said, everybody's got new good systems now at home, and everybody's collecting. So, but of course, for instance, I have several songs where I don't have a middle part because
Mhm.
I don't consider myself to arrange a solo part because I'm not a guitarist. But when I'm composing, I have verse, bridge, chorus, and then maybe a middle eight breakdown part. But then I don't consider the next task as my task because it's a guitar stuff. So that's why they're also involved. And of course, Tom or the other guy sent me files without vocals. Can you find a melody and write the lyrics? So, and also Matt composes a lot, and he's also composing lyrics and melodies. So it's a teamwork still. But it's not like we're sitting hours for hours and days in the rehearsing studio anymore to collect ideas. Sometimes that's a good idea because that's really a raw thing. That's how the first album also happened.
Mhm.
We collected ideas in the rehearsing studio, and we don't want to miss that. But times have changed, and I think the quality which has been recorded and released is getting better and better, and that's the reason why we can somehow be really satisfied with the way we are working. We're swapping files, we are swapping ideas, even if we're not sitting together in one room. But it's a good workflow. It's happening good.
I think it depends on the artist. Some artists need to be around other people to help pull it out of them. And some people can have so many ideas and they don't need anybody around them, actually. It can be distraction. And then the only challenge for them is leaving the ego at the door to be open for their ideas to still make it collaborative
Yes,
through
excellent.
online files. And I'm not
Exactly
saying
what
they
you
have
say.
ego, but you got to really be more flexible when
Exactly what
it's
you say. I mean, I'm really open. If everybody, I would love to have Tom in my room all the time to write to play the guitar for my ideas. Or, but then if he's not here, of course I'm recording it on my own, which is also sounding good, but not as good as Tom, of course. But it's a demo, okay. But anyway, on the record, on the album, he's gonna play. And but like you say, I'm not that guy. Well, I want to write my song on my own because this is just my, you know, if somebody comes in and, oh, can we do it here a little bit different or whatever, I'm open for everything, so why not? And also same for the guys. I mean, if they want me to join in to sing and to bring in my ideas for lyrics and melodies, which is happening a lot right now, everybody's open. We're not narrow-minded somehow to somehow not, no, I'm the only guy composing whatever. That's stupid. it's great. It's a real, it's a big advantage to have in the end 5 writers. That's great.
Well, and I think that serves the fact of the band, and I think that's where the strongest artists are. If you look back, the longest lasting, the best the continuity of good songs, album after album after album, is when the band serves the song,
Yeah,
and it's not people competing for songwriting rights, or I'm the guitarist, I write this. I'm the singer, I only sing my lyrics. And some singers need to sing their own lyrics because a lot of the guys in the band just can't write lyrics, or they're not the same thing. If you're the vocalist, I get that you want to sing your stuff. Just like a guitar player solo, they want to have their stamp on the guitar solo because it's
of
their
course.
thing.
I totally understand that because, and
But
also, Sean, if somebody is not composing a song but plays a solo, or even the drummer drums the parts, he's bringing his soul into the piece of music. So for me, he's also a composer, even if he did not write the idea behind it, but people are bringing their talent and their soul into the music. So that's the reason why they are, for me, composers as well.
I agreed. I think there's a lot of times the drummers are more composers that you don't realize what they add to a song. It can be a
I mean,
totally different
Michael is a
song.
great composer. I didn't want to say
Right.
that, but
No, no,
Michael,
no. I meant just in general, though. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Sometimes drummers can
yeah,
make a difference in a song,
it's
and it's
true.
not right.
Yeah,
They don't get any credit for writing it. But what
yeah,
they put in that song, you're like, no one else plays it because it has like a jazz beat to it, or it has an old
yeah,
beat to it, and no one else would have heard it that way. But yet
exactly.
they don't get credit for what they put into it.
Yeah,
You know, and that's how it is. This is exciting news with you. We're looking forward to the new album. You guys are doing stuff.
yeah, going
Um,
for it.
that's awesome, and some stuff coming up. I want to encourage people to go over to the website, both websites, the band website and your personal website.
Hmm.
Check out the reissue because obviously everyone loves the first album and it's a fun reissue.
Thank you.
Obviously, Metal Commando was awesome. We'll be looking for the new one. Um, is there anything else you want to share with everybody in case I forgot anything?
Yes, Merry Christmas. I mean, it's very early right now. It's 4 weeks to go, but it's about time to say. And it's been a long time. It's also not only COVID, it's also the issue what we had in the band, and but everybody's really looking forward when we're starting to go out there again. And first of all, the effort is to in the studio, like I said, and then we are somehow set to go and to rehearse and go out there live again. Looking forward to meeting you guys. It's been a long time, almost 3 years for us now.
Wow.
So it's about time to go out there again.
Excellent. And US states, of course, right?
I hope
Eventually.
so. I don't know anything, but
Hopefully. I'm
it's
just saying hopefully
also
in the future.
another story, which is not only because of COVID, but it was not easy before with all those working visas we
Yep.
got to buy. We really, literally got to buy them because you got to see a lawyer to get those visas, and for a bunch of people who are in the band and also the technicians and the roadies we have, that's quite a lot of money before we somehow step our foot on the soil of America.
That's right. Actually, let me tell the fans if they have a chance, do not say I'll see him next time because it's like maybe like 5 to 10 grand per visa to come in this country. And then when they tour and they have their merch, if buy it because they're getting taxed on merch after paying visas to get in here also. It's very
Yes,
expensive for a band to come over here.
it is.
So it's very important to support artists.
Yes.
I always support artists, but really, really important if they're coming over here because they're already paying out of pocket, you know,
Yep.
and it's a gamble even to break even with a whole year worth of work just to come
Yeah.
over and see fans. I mean, the
Exactly.
bands
And
aren't complaining, but just we need to
yeah,
support.
I mean, musicians and bands never been so much whining buddies, but in the end, when you're there and you get your fee, you get your merchandise percentage because you don't get everything anyway, and then
Uh-huh.
you got to still pay a tax on top, and city tax and this tax
Mhm.
and this tax. What's left in the end, and
Well,
that's
that's the
not
whole
easy.
thing. People
Yeah.
don't realize that. And I would say one last thing for you guys: buy the shirts because guess what? Just because what's $30 or it's whatever, it doesn't matter because whatever the profit is, it's X amount of money just for the shirt, and then there's the layers of colors on it. Then there's the importing. Then they have to ship it over and do shipping tax, and then they're dragging it behind the bus. So then they're paying gas and dragging it and trying to have the right sizes for the right people. Then they have a merch person doing it, and then the venue's taking money out of that, and then they're still getting taxed on top of that. So you watch that $40
True.
just dissipate to like a couple bucks, if that. I mean,
True.
so
Yes.
it's something people are not off on the buses eating caviar in these $40 t-shirts. You're really just helping the band
It's true.
in the mission. And it's just important that people know that and not just,
True,
think
Sean.
it's a big model. So
Absolutely.
I want to thank you. This has been pretty cool. I'm a big fan. I
John,
want
same here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for being on
Cool.
the show, man. Appreciate it.
Cool. So see you next time.
Yeah,
Stay
we'll
healthy.
have you back.